Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you how I approach colouring different skin tones with markers. For this video I will be using the Cozy Girls digital stamp set, which has been printed out onto plain white cardstock, and I'll also be using the Arteza 36 skin tone marker set. This is not a sponsored video, but Arteza was kind enough to send me along this set of markers for me to try out, and there will also be a link to the Arteza website in the description box below if you want to check the markers out. The focus of this video today will be on the colouring tutorial, but if you do want more information about the markers, I have made a separate review video on these, and that's linked in the iCards. One last thing I want to quickly say before we get started is that the tips and techniques that I will be sharing in this video are ones that I use and that I personally find helpful. This is by no means the only way to use markers or the only way to approach colouring. This is just what I do, and I hope that if you're looking for information, then this tutorial is helpful for you. That said, let's dive into the tutorial. I generally use 4 to 5 colours when creating a blended skin tone. One base colour, which is the very lightest shade in the group, 2 midtones, one of them is often a light purple, a much darker shadow colour, and then a light pink or a blush. I use a similar system for all the faces in the tutorial today, and I just swap out the shades depending on the skin tone that I'm colouring. The darker the skin tone, the darker the blending group. To begin here, I'm starting out with my lightest colour. This is going to be the base, and I'm laying down a flat layer of colour all over the face. To achieve streak-free colouring, I'm going backwards and forwards over my lines as I colour, often working in small overlapping circles. Once that base colour is down, I come in with the first mid-tone colour and add some where I want the shadows to be, under the chin, around the hairline, above the eyes, on the tip of the nose. This will act like a blending plan, so that when I create the gradients in the later steps, I have a plan of action as to where I'm going to start the gradient blend from. After that, I go into each of the shadow areas with the second mid-tone, colouring over the first one, but leaving a little of that first colour around the edges of the shadows, and this is where I'm starting to create the gradients. Then using the darkest colour in my colour group, here it's a muted purple shade, I'm going into the shadows again and adding in where I want the very darkest points of the gradient to be. This is normally around the hairline and especially under the chin. Again, I am leaving slivers of both the 2 previous colours showing through the gradient layers. Once this first layer of the 4 main colours are down, I then rotate back through them all again to blend them together. Sometimes I rotate through these 4 colours a couple of times. It just depends on how quickly I get the blended look that I want. So on top of that darkest shadow colour, I'm going back over with the mid-tone colour and using that to blend the darkest colour into that mid-tone. Then I'm going to use the light base colour once again and blend that first mid-tone colour into the base. Each colour is blended with the colour before it in the gradient. My shadow areas also often expand a little as I go backwards and forwards blending everything together, so I usually start with the shadow areas a little bit smaller than I want them to be, as I know they will expand a bit by the end. I then added a little bit of blush to the cheeks and the lips, and this first girl was complete. For the next example, I'm once again starting off with the base colour and laying down that flat layer of colour. Some people prefer working from dark to light with markers, so you can place the darker shadows in first, then the midtones, and then use the light base colour as the last layer on top of it all. It's completely up to you how you want to work. If you're starting out, I would recommend trying both ways and seeing which you prefer. I like working this particular way because I find it is a bit easier to blend if I have that base layer down first, but I really don't think either way is better than the other, and you can pick whichever way works best for you. I then added in the blush and added in the darker mid-tone. Now I've done this way round here as I wanted a clearer guide as to where to place the shadows, and I also wanted to demonstrate that you can place the colours down in whatever order you want. Once you start blending everything together, it will all look great at the end. I've gone ahead and blended the darker mid-tone in with the lighter one, and then added in the darkest shadows into the corners. It's normally a good idea to use that darkest colour in your colour blending group very sparingly on the finished artwork, and just place it in the very darkest corners. That way it will really make them pop out when you're finished. Once that was done, I then blended each colour together. You can really create any skin tone you want using this method of colouring. You select 4 main colours and a blush if you want one. Your lightest colour will be your base. You'll need 2 mid-tones and then 1 much darker colour to use in the shadows. So when you're picking colours to use in your own projects, if you stick to a blending group of about 4 markers, then that should work well for you. You can also use a light purple in the mid-tones selection of your blending group. That's something that I often do. You could also use pinks or orange or any colour you'd like, especially in the mid-tones, because they will become blended with all the other colours at the end. So that's my quick tutorial on how I approach colouring skin tones with markers. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are lots of ways to colour with markers, and it's often a good idea to watch multiple tutorials and to pull together tips and techniques that work for you from different sources. I used a similar blending technique for the hair and the accessories on the girls, and I can do a separate tutorial on how to colour hair if that's something you're interested in. I will be using these finished images in a mixed media project coming up soon on the channel, so remember to check back here again. If you're interested in the digital stamps that I used in this video and you would like to use them in your own projects, you can find a link in the description box below to them, and make sure that you leave any questions you may have in the comments section. Thank you again to Arteza for sending along these Everblend markers, and thank you for watching. Have a creative day, and I will see you next time.